What's up, YouTube? Capital G here. Got a miniature version of the Excellent Adventures, and this one is going to focus around Shinobirds. I posted a Shinobird duel before, like a couple of weeks ago, but I rushed through it. I didn't have any pausing, and the video just ended up being terrible. I didn't like it at all, so I felt like posting some more Shinobird content, and at least this time I can explain what some of the plays are in the deck, what some of the cards actually do for people who are unfamiliar with this archetype. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Shinobirds are not some great archetype. These are duels where the deck actually goes according to plan and the ritual summons are unopposed, and you actually see what the deck can do. But in general, I honestly think that Shinobirds are kind of like one of the worst archetypes in the entire Art V era, because there's a weird dichotomy in them, and they, one half ritual, the other half is like spirit, and I don't know, those two things feel like polar opposites, as most spirit monsters cannot be special summoned, although these can. So you're going to see a few builds of Shinobirds, and there will be a lot of spirits in here. Now, anytime you open up with Ice Bell, obviously you're in good shape. Good Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. He doesn't have any ritual plays, and I actually think it's a little weird that he went first. I don't think Shinobirds are that great going first, because if you summon the Baron or the Baroness, I mean, you wouldn't really get anything out of it, especially considering they don't stick on the field. So he does use his negates on the Galaxy Wizard. Unfortunately, it came back, and that turned into a Utopia the Lightning play, which means, goodbye to Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. He does draw his Baroness, but he doesn't have a way of summoning her. Now, during the turn one, he did summon the Nikitama. It was kind of pointless, because this card right here, Shinobird Power Spot, it only works where you get to search a ritual spell when a wind monster bounces back to your hand. So, that works for the Shinobird cards, but not so much for Nikitama and Aratama, because they are both light attributes. So they don't really work with this card, but this is one of the cards that makes the deck, have its consistent advantage. So he finally gets the copy of Pre-Preparation of Rites, and he is able to actually make a play. He summons the Shino Baron Peacock. Now, this is the one that actually bounces monsters to your opponent's hand. Obviously, since he had Utopia the Lightning on the field, it goes bye-bye. Now, one of the weird things about Shinobirds is, since they can't really keep advantage on the board, since they're kind of similar to like Yosenju's, they have to play cards that can either stop attacks or cards that can kind of stop summons, things like Torrential Tribute. So that's why you'll see them play like Mirror Forces and whatnot, because a lot of times the only thing you'll have on the board to protect you are these damn tokens. And even though they're 1500 defense, they're not really that powerful. But the saving grace is this card right here called Shinobird Healing. This is, in my opinion, the best card in the entire archetype. Not only does it blow up cards on your opponent's side of the field during the end phase when one of your spirits bounces back to your hand, but it can also negate attack. So it's basically like a dual threat, and it gives you offensive potential and defensive potential. So you see right here, he gets to search a ritual spell, and he gets to blow up one of his opponent's cards. And then, even though his opponent is going to make a very big offensive push, he can still negate attacks as well. So I think that this card is one of the cards you want to see early and often, and this guy is going ham. You see he's got the Guardian of Order, he has the Cyber Dragon Infinity, he has Galaxy Eyes Cypher Dragon, shoutouts to Kaito, and he is not done. He is ranking that sucker up. He's going to blow some cards up. He even goes for the Cypher Blade Dragon to blow up another card. Now, he makes a fatal mistake here as he tries to negate as he tries to negate the Shinobird Healing effect to stop an attack, and he ends up walking into the Mirror Force. Now, the one cool thing, the best thing about this deck is what you guys just saw, is the fact that you can use the ritual cards in your graveyard. You can use them as the payment, or the fact that you can use cards from your graveyard as the payment with the ritual spell. So you see right here, he's able to summon the Peacock again, the Shino Baron Peacock. Everything gets bounced to the hand. Now, another cool thing about Shinobirds is, when you look at the Shino Baroness and you look at the Shino Baron, their effects don't actually target, unless I'm mistaken, unless I'm reading them wrong. I think that they don't target. Even if they do, the fact that they can still bounce or spin back to the deck 3 cards is still pretty good. It's just, they do kind of get wrecked by things like Solemn Strike, and they're not they require a little bit of an investment. So you see right here, this version is super duper focused on on summoning a lot of summoning a lot of spirit monsters. You saw that first play. He walked into Phoenix Chain, and it didn't really matter. He summoned the Shino Baroness, and she spun Phoenix Chain back to the deck, and then he activated the effect to summon another spirit monster from his hand. Now, since he already had one on the field, he was able to draw a card, and she's gonna bounce back, and he gets a couple of tokens. Right now, he's in commanding position And he does have to watch out because I think he has, okay, yeah, he'll have 3 darts in the grave, but doesn't matter. He's gonna rank up. He goes into what's it called? I love C101 Silent Honor. He's like one of my favorite cards. And he is going ham right here. He goes for Utopia the Lightning. Wow. I totally forgot that this replay was so explosive. See, the thing about the Shinobirds and them being spirit that does it does kind of work in their favor is if you can get both Baroness and Baron, then you can kind of alternate them. And during the first turn, the right play was to throw out Baroness and get rid of the Phoenix Chain so that, you know, he could basically mount his offense and do some damage. But right here, when he sets the Bora, the right play is to, the right play is to summon the Baron so that he can actually bounce the Bora back to his hand and he can, you know, kind of OTK. Although I'm not really sure the Bora was going to stop the OTK anyways, it's just kind of, you know, it's better safe than sorry. Now this one's against Dark Magician. Anytime I see a Dark Magician replay, I'm always so critical of the person playing Dark Magician because I play Dark Magician and I'm always like, that's not what I would have done. So you know what I mean? I'm always very critical. So he does, you know, Dark Magician starts off pretty good, getting rid of Nikitama, using the effect Veiler on Aratama, but he does have a copy of Pre-Preparation of Rights to get him some cards. And honestly, I kind of like the plays that he was going for here. He has 5,000 damage. He's basically just using Circle to control him. Here's what I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that he went into Illusion Magician. I think he should have went into Draco Sack. Draco Sack would have not only protected itself, it would have given him 2 monsters, and he still would have had a Dark Magician in the graveyard to summon back from Eternal Soul. Thus, he could have popped something from Dark Magical Circle. So I didn't really like that play, but you know, whatever. He allures, and he gets a copy of what's it called? Magician's Navigation that he can't use. And he's playing Pot of Acquisitiveness. That's a little weird. I mean, it kind of works out that he's been getting all his monsters banished, but hey, you know what I mean? It actually works. Now, here's the cool play. He's going to Ritual Summon, and the thing is, Dark Magician are kind of like one of the big Achilles heels of the deck is if you can't protect Eternal Soul, you will get savaged by your own card, and that's why he's summoning the Baroness Peacock into this field, because even though Dark Magician can summon, you know, he can summon another card from Eternal Soul, if Eternal Soul leaves the field and it looks like it would get spun back to the deck, man, it's not very good for the deck because you lose your protection, and then you're really not you're not doing anything, especially considering he got rid of the Circle at the same time. So you see right now he is going off. Another play of Utopia the Lightning, and Dark Magician can't really operate if it just has a couple of cards. Like, you have to give everything to protecting that lock. Now this version is actually running Urgent Ritual Art. It's one of the strangest cards ever because it's like the only card in the game I can think of that lets you ritual summon during your opponent's turn. I don't honestly even like the card, but I mean, it has some decent applications. You see right here, he's setting up Circle, and off of the Circle, he actually got an Eternal Soul. So basically, he got his lock reset up again, but it's not going to matter because he's going to Ritual Summon during his opponent's turn, and he just ends up bouncing. And at this point, Dark Magician really doesn't have much. Well, actually, he does have the Eternal Soul, so he can flip that over, and he can banish the Utopia the Lightning. So that's what I think he's going to do, right? Yeah, okay, that's what he does, but that's the only defensive card that he has, and doesn't matter because Baroness is going to come out. She's actually going to spin that Eternal Soul since it's only once per turn, and the rest of the monsters actually end up getting the damage in. So it's kind of interesting. He was kind of able to largely ignore Dark Magical Circle for the entire game, even though it seems like Dark Magician got pretty much what it wanted that duel. I think that Dark Magician would have won if he would have gotten like a Solemn Strike or something like that, or obviously maybe like a Dimensional Barrier, because that could have just stopped the Ritual Summon altogether. If he would have had that for like one turn, I think that maybe he would have won. I do think that the Draco Sack play would have been a little better, but you know, that's whatever. And then we've got an invoked version of, oh no, excuse me, the invoked is the Blue Eyes. You have a Kaiju version of what's it called, of the Shinobird deck. Now, some Shinobirds run Manju and Senju, some of them don't. I don't think that you need them in the deck, so you know, I feel like you can kind of do what you want. Now this dude did open up with a very strong play as he's getting Felgrand out. He has the Galaxy Eyes Dark Matter Dragon. He has the Amorphich Goliath. It's a super strong play. He even had the invoked Merkaba, but you know, Kaijus be Kaijus, so you know, those come down and basically just you know, wreck every monster in the game. Now he is going to summon the Baron that spins just about everything on the field, and he's able to run over the Felgrand. I mean, I would say that's a pretty good counter. He has the Spirit Healing to also block attack. So I mean, he basically was able to withstand a very strong board, but he does have to deal with another copy of Merkaba. Everybody knows the recyclability, obviously, of the Invoke deck, the fact that Alistar just basically kind of juggles itself, but he's not stopping with these kaijus. Once again, he's kaijuing, and this is kind of a cool play because what you guys notice is he's bouncing the same kaiju to his hand over and over and over again. So anytime this Invoke player puts a really big like stun monster on the board, he's just going to kaiju it, and then he's just going to spin this. Now, he does have the healing on the board, but since this guy doesn't have any cards on the board, he won't be able to blow anything up. So I wouldn't even flip it over. I would just kind of leave it set so that my opponent would never really know what I'm doing. And I believe he has one more copy of the ritual spell. Looks like he's trading in, and neither player is really losing that much advantage, but the thing is, like, the determining factor in this duel, the Shinobird player is actually the one getting damage through. So he did get rid of the Shinobird healing, but it really hasn't done that much, and he is going to make Titanic Galaxy, but I don't understand why he made Titanic Galaxy, because he knew that he had the kaiju, and he kaijus him again. I think at that point he was just like, all right, I'm gonna scoop. I'm fucking sick of being kaiju'd. Even if he didn't scoop, obviously he would have activated the Shinobird Calling. He would have tributed the 8 stars that he had on field. He would have obviously spun this back, or bounced this, not spun. Spun means going back to the deck. He would have bounced this to his hand, and he just would have attacked for game. So, you know, Shinobirds can sparingly work when it comes to like playing against other low tier decks, but don't run this into anything competitive, man. I don't think it'll end up too good. I actually tried Shinobirds when they were first announced, and I kind of had to mix in a bunch of like Exceed cards to try and make the deck work a little better, but that's a whole different story. So hope you guys enjoyed this this small version of the Excellent Adventures, and not exactly sure what my next Excellent Adventures is going to be. I'd really like to do one on Tricksters or maybe Goki, but I don't know. That's another video for another day. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already.